But look how nice this screen is to work in. If I wanted to edit my Gates catalog, I can just put Gates right there and hit the enter key. Oop. If I type Gates, G-A-T, it's case sensitive, by the way. If I just start typing Gates, it finds Gates for me. If I just start typing Motorcraft, it's going to find Motorcraft for me. At this point, a couple of things to take note on Gates. Primary, secondary is covered by this field over here to the right. Within LaserCat 3, everything defaults to a number 5, which makes it a lot easier to ignite your catalog because you only take to a number 1 the items you want to come to the top. When we talked about CT line yesterday, to edit it, to ignite the catalog, you have to touch everything. You have to touch everything that you don't want to be a number 1. So in this case, it defaults to a 5, and you just edit the things you want to bring to the top, bring the cream up. Okay? If I take Gates and I say edit the manufacturer's coverage, I have the same screen, very similar screen to my CT line, and all I'm doing is going through and picking what I want to look up. So if I wanted to add hoses, I would want to add or edit it because I got to put my line code in here. If I just do add, it's going to come up and ask me, what's your user code? Well, my user code happens to be GAT, so I can leave that in. And within a line, I can change my priority to primary or secondary 1 to 9, 1 to 9. Still have the same functionality that I have within CT line. Click OK. So, it's 6 1/2 dozen the other. That's something I should mention at this point. If you maintain it in CT line, because you're comfortable there, your guys can update it from there. If you like what you're seeing here and think this would be easier to maintain it in, once you maintain it on one PC, you can push it out to all the others. And I'll remind you again, it's only got to be done once, and it only needs to exist on the PED server. So that's some of the functionality. It makes it pretty simple to work with. Now, if I wanted to edit it, I can edit it, go right back in it and change it because I forgot to make it a primary 1. Now I'm going to click OK. I would go through all my manufacturers and I would set them up just like I did before. I'll click OK. Take my next manufacturer, might be Motorcraft. When I find Motorcraft, I just realized it's no longer case sensitive. It always has been. Just lowercase motor found it. I can go in there and edit this. Now you'll notice over to the right, I've only used one line over here to the right. I have 1,199 lines left. In default Unix catalog, we start you out with 600 lines. If any of you are using Unix, that are using the Unix catalog, need more lines to set up than 1,199, we can expand it to 1,000. However, that's the limit. With LaserCat 3, you just build a new supplier, and you can have as many different combinations as you want. From this screen, once I get everything built up, I can actually run a report, and I'm going to tell it to make the changes permanent, and it's coming up empty because I haven't added anything enough times to do it yet. But I think we're going to find my Gates isn't added. I'm going to back up here for just a minute. Now I'm going to pull up my Apex list, only because that's got some product in it. Okay, this has 582 lines set up. Yesterday, you remember I printed the report out of CT line? Well, it's as simple as doing this and opening it up and exporting the same file directly over to my desktop as a CSV file and opening it up in Excel. So I can still do the set up the lines, pump it out, put it in Excel, and work with it and make my changes and then come back to this report, back into supplier maintenance and change them. Okay? So this is supplier maintenance so far, but it's got some functionality that not only matches CT price, it has some functionality that allows me to add and modify groups and categories. So if I click next here, it will actually let me go in and rename my groups and insert different parts groups into that category. So I can literally make a new category and call it Pat's List. And then I can go in here and go add, and I can tell it what category I want to call this. We're going to call it Pat's category. So why would I do this? Maybe I'm a specialty catalog shop, and maybe I just want to add certain lines and groups to it. So I would have to have some security turned on that I don't have right at the moment, but I could go in here and I could create unique categories and parts groups to my system that would show up in my catalog. If I click skip the category, then it's going to go right to the next item. Now I can add group messages. If I want to put certain messages on product lines, this is where I could do them. I'm going to skip that. So now ready to do the tasks, and it's going to change some coverage. It's going to leave features the way they are, and it's going to leave messages the way they are. And when I click Perform Changes on an existing one, you can see it happens real quickly. So once again, that supplier maintenance for LaserCat 3, it can be supplemented by using CT line in the Prism, or it can replace CT line in the Prism 100%. It has a lot more functionality in it.